Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this, I guess, last seminar of the day. My name is Koen Hendricks, and maybe some of you have already spoken to me through our stand. We've been having a very busy morning and afternoon. I see that many people are interested in EU careers, and for the coming hour, we have time to go through a number of aspects concerning EU careers. I will tell you a bit about the functions we offer and the opportunities we offer, about the people we are looking for, also about the selection procedure, how it works, about the different contracts on offer. So there's plenty to talk about. I will speak for about maybe 20-25 minutes, and I'll give you time to ask me any questions. I will share a PowerPoint presentation now, and I will talk you through the slides, and then we can have all questions after that, okay? So I'll share my screen right now. Here we go. I'll give it a minute for you to pop up. So maybe there's a little delay, so I'll wait a minute before. There you go. You see it right now, okay? So you are obviously all interested in a career with the EU institutions. And when I say the EU institutions, there's many of them. There's not just the Commission. There's also the Parliament and the Council and the committees and the External Action Service and some more. You see the logos here on this slide. Some of them might be familiar, others maybe a little less. So maybe I'll quickly go through them so you get to know them. So the first left corner, top corner is of course the Parliament. And you've got the Council, the European Commission, the Court of Justice. And on the second row, you've got the Court of Auditors. Then the European External Action Service, the Economic and Social Committee, the Committee of the Regions, and then bottom left is the European Ombudsman, and bottom right is the European Data Protection Supervisor. So there you have them all. These are the institutions you can end up working for. Now, to work with any of these institutions, you need to go through a selection procedure, a competition. And this is what we offer, we being EPSO, the European Personnel Selection Office. That's where I work. I'm heading the external communications team here. And we try and attract candidates from all over Europe to come and join us and to work in these different institutions. Of course, most of these institutions have their headquarters in Luxembourg or Brussels. About 80% of staff works in Brussels or Luxembourg. Only one institution is not located in Brussels or Luxembourg, and that's the European Ombudsman. They're based in Strasbourg. Now, there are opportunities to work outside Brussels and Luxembourg. We have, as you may know, representations in all EU capitals. We have joint research centers in many or in some member states. We have agencies practically in each member state. And we also have delegations outside the EU in capitals around the world, where we also have small offices who liaise with the world outside the EU. So there's plenty of opportunities to work with us. But first, of course, you have to get through a competition. Now, who do we need? Of course, we need many lawyers and many people with a background in political studies or in economics and finance, because we produce legislation. We are an economic union, after all. We need many linguists as well, because we communicate in 24 different languages with the EU citizens. So those are bigger groups of staff. Now, apart from those bigger groups of staff, we practically need anybody with any possible degree. You see a couple of examples on this slide. We need web designers, we need journalists, we need historians, we need psychologists, we need accountants, you name it. I mean, we need scientists, really. We have opportunities for basically anybody with a degree. So this is an important message. It's not just for lawyers and finance people. It is basically for everybody. To come and work with us, you need to be eligible. And in order to be eligible, you need to meet a couple of criteria. Not so many, but you need to meet them. First of all, you have to have EU citizenship. So people from outside the EU, so including the UK citizens now, they can no longer become officials or contract agents or temporary agents with us. The only opportunities we can offer to non-EU citizens are traineeships, and I'll come to that at the end of the presentation, and also a limited number of what we call local agents who work in the delegation of their country. So outside the EU, we have these delegations, which I just mentioned. So for instance, if you are an American, you could work in a delegation in Washington as a local agent. All other staff must have EU citizenship, okay? The second criteria is, and that's quite an easy one for most of you, is you need to speak 2 EU languages, including your mother tongue. So basically your own, plus, for instance, English or French or another. That is enough for us to come and work with us. The third criteria is you need a degree. If you have a graduate degree, which again, I guess in this audience, most of you have or will have soon, you can aim at a competition, which is a selection procedure, to become what we call an administrator. It's a bit of a dull term, but an administrator is a policy level staff member. If you do not have a graduate degree, you can still work with us as what we call an assistant. Assistants are more executive level staff. So those are the 2 career paths that we offer. Okay. Of course, you must like to work in multicultural and multilingual environments, which is of course what we offer. That speaks for itself, I guess. Now, as an employer, we offer quite something. First of all, there's a line of work. I mean, what we do is very interesting, very challenging also. And think of any topic on the news, and the EU has a word to say in it. And think of trade now, healthcare, safety and security, job mobility, the digital market, science funding, inclusion, maritime affairs. I mean, you name it, every single policy has an EU dimension to it, and this is what we work on, and that's quite fascinating to be part of that. As I said, the work environment is, of course, very international. We have 27 different member states. I mentioned we speak 24 different languages. Of course, we have a number of languages which we work in at work, mostly English and French, of course. Those are the working languages in a way. But we, of course, welcome people from everywhere out of Europe. On this slide, you still see the word travel. We used to travel for work. Can you imagine? We used to go to member states and to promote projects or to fund projects or to have conversations with government administrations or with companies. These days, of course, it's all online. All EU officials are currently working from home. And I guess this will last a couple of more months before we gradually return back to the offices. And in a way, we are all shaping Europe together, meaning we are not working for the profit of a company, but we are working to improve the quality of life of more than 450 million people. That's quite something. It sounds big, but at the end of the day, that's what we do. And we work on this bigger purpose, if you want, a bigger project, which is to make the EU a better place to live. And it seems that many people agree with us because, as you can see, if you look at migration alone, for instance, many people want to come and live in Europe because it's such a nice environment to work and live in, of course. What else do we offer? We offer personal development, meaning we offer training courses if you want to learn new languages, new skills, IT skills, accountancy skills, speaking in public skills, whatever. We have a catalog of training opportunities available for you to sign up to. You can do these trainings free of charge during working hours, so you can really improve and develop personally in the years that you spend with us. One of the nicest aspects in my personal view is the internal job mobility. Now, this basically means that your first job assignment will most probably not be the last one you do. You can very easily switch between services, between institutions, and also between cities while being employed by the EU institutions. And that's quite fascinating and easy as well. Again, we have an internal database of vacancies. And if you're up for a new position, you consult this database. If you find a profile which matches your needs or profile, you have an interview with that future service. If it matches, you take up your new position. If not, you stay where you are. So in a way, you can only win and improve and find out new policies and competencies and change jobs in that way. I did that myself a number of times. I started my EU career back in 1997. I guess many of you were not born yet at the time anyway. I started in Luxembourg, where I worked in the publications office, because prior to the EU, I worked in a publisher's company in Belgium, which was a nice environment to work in. But again, it was very monocultural, monolingual, and I wanted to open my eyes a bit and work in an international environment. And this is what the EU in Luxembourg at the time offered me. After that, I went to Brussels to the European Commission, and I worked a number of years on employment and social affairs, after which I joined the Maritime Affairs DG, where I worked on a fisheries policy for a number of years, 6 or so. And then I joined EPSO, where I'm currently working and heading the external communications team. So I really used this job mobility to find out different aspects of what the EU has to offer. Quite fascinating. Work-life balance is also an important aspect. If you want to work part-time, if you want to telework, we used to only telework a couple of days a week or so. That's all possible. So these things are to be discussed in your teams. There's also a number of well-being initiatives to keep you fit and healthy at the office. As you may know, we are well paid. We have a good pension scheme. We have a good insurance scheme. We offer European schools for children to be educated in their own language. So basically, the whole package is quite nice. Now, maybe a couple of words about the competitions. As I said, if you want to work with any of these institutions, you need to take part in what we call a competition, a selection procedure. And if you are successful, you can be hired by any of these institutions. So basically, a competition has 3 stages. There's what we call the pre-selection stage, then an intermediate stage, and then an assessment center. And if you are successful in these 3, you are a laureate, you are a successful candidate, and you can then be employed in any of these 10 institutions. A bit more detail about these different stages maybe. So the first stage, what we call the pre-selection stage, is a computer-based test during which we basically test your reasoning skills, verbal, numerical, and abstract reasoning skills in the 24 languages. Actually, you have to choose one language, of course, in which you will sit these tests. Most people will choose their mother tongue because the level of difficulty of these tests is quite high, and you need to be able to solve these questions quite fast. So you better take your mother tongue to do this. You can train this, and I suggest you do if you want to take this seriously. We have sample tests available on our website for which you can train on all these 3 reasoning skills tests to give you an idea on the level of difficulty, and also the time factor is important there. As I said, you have to be able to solve these questions quite fast. So this is where you can train this. The best ones after phase 1 are invited, of course, to phase 2, which is an intermediate test, and this can be different things. It can be a set of profile-specific questions in the field of the competition. It can be a language comprehension test if multiple languages need to be tested. It can be a translation, of course, in case it's a translation competition, and so on. What exactly you will sit is, of course, explained in detail when we publish the competition on our website. We publish what we call the notice of competition, which is the legal document explaining the duties of the function, explaining also the whole competition structure, which tests will be done, how many questions you will get, the time allocated to these questions, the score you need to be able to go to the next round, and so on. It's all very detailedly explained, so you will know upfront what you have to know and tell us. The third stage is what we call the assessment center. Used to be in Brussels. Now it's all online, of course. It's all remotely now. Maybe by the time you take part in competitions, we go back to physical testing, but for the time being, it's all remotely. In the assessment center, you sit between 3 and 4 out of these 6 tests mentioned here. It can be a case study, which is a written exercise. It can be kind of an interview. It can be a presentation you have to make, an oral presentation to the jury. So depending, again, on the competition, we pick 3 or 4 of these tests out of the list here. Now, during these tests in the assessment center, we basically test 8 general competencies. And this is important for you to know, that you keep these competencies in the back of your mind when going to these tests. Because we want to see if you can analyze and solve a problem. We want to see how you communicate both orally and in writing. We want to see if you can deliver quality and results, if you can learn and develop through what you do, if you can prioritize and organize your work, if you can work under stress, if you can work in teams. And then also for a policy level, so administrator level or graduate level competitions, we also want to see the potential to lead, whether the candidate in future can lead a team, a sector, or a unit even later on. Again, in this notice of competition, you will know upfront, we will explain upfront which of these competencies are tested in which of these 6 tests which I mentioned here. So it's all clear to you upfront. At the end of the selection, you are either selected or not, of course. And then basically what happens, the next phase is then the recruitment. So what happens is when an institution has a vacancy, they will consult this list of successful candidates. There's no ranking on this list. Everybody is equal in a way. But of course, everybody has his or her own CV and background. And based on these CVs, the recruiting bodies will invite 3, 4, 5 people to an interview. And the best match will be offered the job. And the others stay on the list and will be offered an opportunity later on. So only at this stage, your CV really comes into play, okay? If you take part in wait, maybe you'll see this on the next slide. Yes. So here you see a number of upcoming or actually currently published competitions. The first one on top is now open. It's a competition to select lawyer linguists. Lawyer linguists are lawyers. So they need a degree in law, and this time either Polish, Hungarian, Irish, French, Czech, or Bulgarian law. And they need to be able to translate from 2 EU languages into their own language. Okay, so it's quite a tough competition, this one. If you're good at languages and you have a law degree, you can take part in this one. It's still open until the 23rd of February. There's also a translators competition open currently in 4 languages. Again, translators need to be able to translate from 2 foreign EU languages, 2 source languages, into 1 main language. And the main language this time is either Danish, German, Finnish, or Swedish. You can still apply until the 9th of February. In the 3rd column there, you see the grade. Now, this is important to know. AD obviously stands for administrator and ASD for assistant. You guys are aiming, most of you, I guess, for the administrator level competitions. AD5 means you do not need work experience. This is the entry level for an administrator grade, AD5. So you can take part in these competitions with a bachelor or sometimes a master degree without any work experience needed. AD6, down in the list here, means you need at least 3 years of experience in the field. AD7 normally means that you need 6 years of experience in the field, except for lawyer linguists. For lawyer linguists, the competition is launched at AD7 level, even for fresh graduates. Okay, again, all this is explained in this notice of competition. So you see some specialist competitions are upcoming in the chemicals policy, also in sustainable agriculture. So it's all quite specific. We may do a competition, a more general competition, maybe a completely general one, meaning you don't need a specific degree, but it's open to anyone, or maybe in law or economics or some more general fields towards the end of spring. I haven't promised anything yet. It's just in the pipeline for the time being. We have to see if we will publish it or not, but keep an eye on the website or follow us on social media. If you look for EU careers on either Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or even Twitter, you can follow us and we keep you updated on upcoming opportunities. Okay. So a short word. I'm watching my clock here. I still have some time. Huh? So a couple of words about other opportunities to work now for us. So until now, I discussed what we call to become an official. You have to do a competition to become an official. An official is a permanent staff member. We also have non-permanent staff members, like contract agents, temporary staff, interim freelancers, seconded national experts, and trainees. I'll say a word about the contract agents and the trainees because these are quite big categories of staff. The other ones are not selected by EPSO. If you want to be a temporary agent, you should look for those positions. You can find them on our website as well. But selection and recruitment is done directly by the body who needs these people. Mostly agencies. Agencies need temporary staff in specific fields. We, EPSO, we also select contract agents and trainees. So contract agents are people who get offered a contract for 3 years, renewable once, so up to 6 years. Now, the way we select is a bit different if you compare it to a competition to become an official. Currently, we have about 15 different profiles on offer, meaning you can register for this profile anytime, even for more than one profile if you fit for it. You can register anytime. For a competition to become an official, you can only apply when we publish it. You have seen it. Let me go back here. You see the application period here. It's always about 5 weeks. You have to apply during these 5 weeks. If you miss the application period, you can't start the competition. With contract agents, the registration period is always open. So basically, you can show your interest in one or more profiles. What happens then is when an institution needs these profiles, they will make a pre-selection out of the database of people. They will pre-select a number of people who seem interesting to them. And they pre-select on basis of keywords. So make sure you put lots of keywords in your application file to make sure you get pre-selected, okay? Once the pre-selection is done, these people are sent to EPSO and we then test them. Again, the reasoning tests, verbal, numerical, abstract reasoning, and also a competency test in the field of the profile. If you are successful, you can be offered a contract and you can start working with us. Then a couple of words about traineeships. I know many of you are also interested in traineeships with the EU institutions. All institutions offer traineeships. They start in different times a year, and you'll find links to all the different traineeship pages of each institution on the EU Careers website, on our website. You can also simply Google, if you Google European Commission traineeship, you'll find the page where to apply, because you have to apply for the traineeships on the institution page, not through EPSO. Okay, that's a bit different. So the Commission has the largest traineeship even in the world. The Commission welcomes about 1,800 trainees a year in 2 shifts, one starting in March and one starting in October, as you can see in the first box there. So it's a 5-month traineeship, 2 times a year. It's a paid traineeship, so you get about 1,200 euros a month. You need at least a bachelor degree and you need at least 2 EU languages. For everything you have on top of that, you get more points in the selection procedure. Okay, it's what is said here. Bachelor degree, minimum 2 languages, one of which must be English, French, or German. We have a limited number of posts available for non-EU citizens. So some of you I've chatted to this morning or this afternoon, for instance, UK citizens can no longer become officials. They can still do a traineeship. There's no age limit. Same thing for competitions or contract agents or any other contract we offer. There's never an age limit, okay? The application or the selection process is basically a CV sift. So you send in your application. And as I said, if you speak more languages, you get more points. If you have a master degree, you get more points than someone with just a bachelor degree, and so on and so on. So the bigger the better your CV is, the more chance you make, or the more chance you have to be selected in the end. So the next upcoming traineeship starts in March, now the 1st of March. You can no longer apply for that one, of course. In July, you can apply for the traineeship starting in March next year. So that's the first upcoming opportunity for the Commission traineeship, okay? So that's in short what I wanted to share with you. I'm going to, but my screen has gone blank, so I'm going to open it again. I'll have a look at the at the chats here to see if there are questions here, which I will turn off here and stop sharing the presentation so you can see me again. And let me see what the questions are here. So as a generalist with a higher research degree in political, oh, where is it? It's gone. Where is, here it is. With a degree in political science, are there specific roles or should I apply mainly for policy officer? So as I said, we offer sometimes competitions which are open to any degree on an entry level, so AD5. And we sometimes run competitions for specialists in a specific field. So depending on your field, you can take part in multiple competitions. You can take part in as many as you want, but you have to take each competition separately. I mean, the results of one competition do not count for the next competition. If you fail or if you are successful, either way, they don't count. You always start from scratch in a new competition, okay? Has the number of traineeships available been affected by COVID? Not anymore. What we did, the March traineeship of last year, those people, because the COVID crisis just started, these people were offered to stay on board in October last year for the next session, and some did. But as of now, there's no affection anymore. About the Blue Book traineeship, how does the matching of candidate interest and available positions work? So when you apply, you can indicate up to 3 services where you would like to do your traineeship. And we try and match the wishes of the candidates with the recruiting body. So we try and take that into account. How important are past work experience for being selected as a traineeship? At the commission, so work experience is valued. So the more you have, the better, because you get extra points in your CV sift. Will these slides be made available subsequently? Yes, you find them on our stand, actually. Go to our stand and you can download them there. Will a law degree from a UK university still be honored? Yes, it will. So we accept all degrees from worldwide. They have to be homologué, and how do you say that in English? They have to be transferred into an EU degree in a way. NARIC, you may know NARIC, N-A-R-I-C, is one of these bodies that does that. So there's no issue. Position of a local agent in a delegation. So as I said, indeed, local agents in delegations are non-EU citizens. They are recruited locally, directly by the delegation. So you would have to contact your delegation and then see if they have posts available. Someone speaking 4 languages, no work experience, chances for being assigned a traineeship. I mean, please do try. If you have a master degree, that's good enough. You don't specifically need work experience. If you speak multiple languages and you have a good motivation, you can get in. Language certificates are requested for traineeships. You have to be able to prove your language. How much time between phase 1 and phase 2? Normally a couple of months you must count. So the whole selection procedure can take up to about 10 months in total. So there's quite some time in between the different stages. Northern Ireland, Irish passport. If you have an Irish passport, that's good, then you're an EU citizen. Let me see if there were questions up front. How doing an internship before applying? You don't have to do a traineeship to do a competition. Of course, it's a valuable experience. Myself, I've never done an internship or a traineeship before applying, so it's 2 different things. But of course, having worked as a trainee gives you some insight in the internal cuisine. So this might help you in a way in, for instance, performing well in an assessment center. So it's of course something which is valuable. Is it possible to start as a cast and then switch? No, these are different things. If you want to become a permanent member, staff member, you need to go through the competition any which way. What else? What do I see here? EAS, they recruit through EPSO. So we run competitions specifically for external relations or other ones, and the EAS recruits staff from our competition lists. French citizenship, will I be expected to work in French? No. There's no link between nationality and languages and how you work, no issue. Temporary staff also for non-EU citizens? No, it's only for EU. How important to have an EU legal background? As I said, we need many lawyers, but there's opportunities for any. I'm going fast here because I'm going over time. Margot, you cut me short if I have to if I have to stop. I keep going until you say me that I have to stop. Then what else? Proof of university.
Give you 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes. Okay. Okay. So proof of university language courses accepted as language certificate. Yes, it is. What are the things, qualification skills that make a candidate really stand out? If you mean for trainees, any extra language is extra points. Any extra degree is extra points. If you have done Erasmus, that's good. If you've done, if you have experiences, be it voluntary or work experience abroad, that's good. All these kind of things. Dual nationality is no problem as long as one is EU. You can apply. AST3, yes, you need work experience. Check the notice of competition. You will need at least 3 years of work experience for an AST3. 2 citizenships, yes, you can apply, as I said, as long as one is EU. What else here? Sorry, this is popping and plopping. Master degree, you want to work with policy, applying for AD5 in translation. Okay, so indeed, if you speak 3 languages, you can indeed take part in a translators competition. If you are successful, your first job assignment will be one as a translator, and then through internal job mobility, you can move out of translation into policy. That's perfectly possible. Age does not matter. There's no age restriction for any contracts. What else? In order to do traineeship, do you need to have a bachelor's degree? Yes, at least a bachelor's degree when you apply. Not when you start, but when you apply, you need to have it. What else do I see here? Age, no. I've done all that. I've done all that. Okay, I'm going back down. Work experience as a freelance count for AST3. Yes, it does, but you have to be able to prove it. As long as you can prove your work experience, it counts. Are trainees able to take advantage of the trainings as language training? That's a good question. I don't think so. I don't think as a trainee you can enroll in trainings, no, because you're only with us for 5 months and we want to make the use of you or abuse you as much as possible. In Sweden, we have a 1-year master and a 2-year master degree. How would the 1 year be valued? No clue. Maybe try and see with the traineeship office how that is valued. I don't know it myself. Doctoral research, that's work experience. Yes, it is. Can we apply all over the year? Yes, I mean, we publish competitions year-round, so please keep an eye on our website or on our social media, because we keep publishing competitions every single month. So just find one which matches your profile and you can enroll. Candidates with PhD, yes, of course. The more the better. Do you take into account your grades in bachelor? No, we don't. As long as you have a bachelor, for us, you can apply. Again, when you are successful in the whole competition and when you make it to the list of successful candidates, then your CV comes into play. And then extra grades or extra degrees or PhDs or work experience may give you an advantage over someone without all that to be recruited a bit faster than someone else. But in the end, the objective is to recruit everybody off the list. How often do employees move internally? I moved 4 times in 24 years. That's quite average, I think. Some people move every 3 years. Some people stay for 10 years in the same position. There's no real average. Do organizations as policy incubators count as experience if publications have been done? Any work experience counts wherever you have worked, yes. The 6 months of work experience you can't have before starting a traineeship is before applying or before starting? Is before applying. Okay, the time is up, I hear. Actually, the time in our stand is also up at 4 o'clock now. We are back on our stand tomorrow live between 10 and 12 and between 2 and 4 again. So if you have more questions, you just join us in the stand. We are 3 staff there and we can take up some more questions there. Thanks a lot for your attention. I think it's been crowded, so I think it's been helpful for you. Thanks for listening, and see you probably tomorrow in the stand if you have more questions. If not, hopefully sometime in Brussels or Luxembourg. Thanks for your attention and have a nice afternoon. Bye-bye.